Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we have another deck donation from Ritual Troll Exhume, and we're playing what they dubbed 4-Color Prism Turbo Initiative. So the idea is to absolutely just turbo out an Avenging Hunter or a Goliath Paladin, or to a lesser extent, a Crimson Fleet Commodore for the Monarch. And we have a whole bunch of rituals to do that: Simian Spirit Guide, Rite of Flame, Dark Ritual, Tinderwall, and Lotus Petal all net us mana when we cast them. But in order to have a little bit more reliable, slightly slower clock of getting one of these down, a Pentad Prism can give us a very nice turn 3 initiative as a slower ritual because it doesn't actually net you mana on the turn that you cast it, but it lets you jump ahead 2 mana the following turn. So if we have 3 lands and or other mana sources plus a Pentad Prism, we can reliably put down one of our 5 drops, or if we just have 2 mana sources, we can get down a 4 drop on turn 3 or even turn 2 if we power out the Prism. The idea then is the Emblem is going to give us enough value to just win the game, as well as having one really big creature who can ideally go the distance hitting your opponent. Because of that, we are also playing Scurrilous Sentry. This is a card that people thought might see a little bit more play from Modern Horizons 3 because it just grows and grows and it generates you value every single turn. It mostly ended up being too expensive, but this is the type of deck where it can definitely thrive. And they initially had Writhing Chrysalis in the sideboard as kind of an anti-go wide tech, which I don't think is terrible, but they mentioned that they thought it potentially could be brought into the main deck. They were playing a couple Apostles' Blessings in order to protect your creatures, but I generally think that once the creature has gotten the emblem down, you've already done most of what you want, so even if it dies to a snuff out or whatever, it's not a big deal. And also it's really hard to hold up an Apostles' Blessing versus such cheap removal like that. But I think Writhing Chrysalis actually fits into this deck perfectly. Not only does it block 3 creatures to prevent your emblems from being stolen, but also it acts kind of as a Pentad Prism of its own. It costs 4 mana, but then it banks 2 of that mana for later. So you can actually ramp out the Writhing Chrysalis with your various rituals, and it doesn't set you that much back from using those to spawn to ramp into one of your emblem creatures as well. So I decided to move 3 of these to the main deck, cutting 1 Sentry and 2 Apostles' Blessing, and in place of that in the sideboard I added 4 Duress. We didn't have any hit attack in the sideboard. I think with this very proactive but glass cannon-y game plan, a Duress to clear the way is really nice to make sure your opponent doesn't have removal plus like a haste or flash creature to steal your emblem, or counter spells, obviously. We also have Pyroblasts to help with counter spells, but I think blue decks are going to be our biggest problem anyway, so I don't mind having a ton of cards to bring in against them. Suffocating Fumes for more go-wide hate, and then Armadillo Cloaks for any burn opponents. Slam one of these on like a Goliath Paladin. They shouldn't be able to kill it, and it'll just gain you tons of life over time. And then Relics of Progenitus for any of your graveyard matchups. So I'm really excited for this deck. I think it looks pretty sweet. Let's take it for a league and see how we do. All right, round 1 here. We have Swamp, Petal, Spirit Guide, Tinderwall. So that's 4 mana. We're on the play. So I could turn 1 a Commodore, but then I'm very far away from getting Paladin or Hunter, but that's probably worth it. I think we're just going to go for it. I mean, we're drawing 2 cards a turn, and we have like a 4-turn clock on them from turn 1. I can't imagine this is bad. So Swamp, Lotus Petal, that's got to tap for green for the Tinderwall, and then we cast a Commodore. Turn 1 Monarch. Hopefully we'll get a turn 1 initiative in this league, but turn 1 Monarch is not bad either on the play. If we're against like a Terror or something that they're going to have trouble getting a creature down for a few turns, could be pretty good. Also, obviously, land is one of our best draws. Like Pentad Prism would be a really good draw here, so I could just play that for 2, and then the following turn I could like Hunter if I get a land or some more mana. Rite of Flame can help as well, but that's 3 mana we need, white or green, and another mana. Dark Writ. Okay, now I just need a Plains or a Forest or a Lotus Petal, and I can play one of these. Obviously, if they have Counterspell mana up, that's going to be tough, but it's also going to be tough for them to hold up Counterspell through the Commodore attacking, although if they, like Sleep of the Dead, that's fine. Okay, now, come on. I guess they could have Spell Pierce, but give me like a Pentad Prism now. Okay, so I could Prism, but that could get countered by a Spell Pierce. I almost want to like Dark Ritual Prism, but they could just Spell Pierce the Dark Ritual. Oh, but that's fine. I pay for it. No, I can't pay for it. I think I just go for the Prism and hope they don't have a Spell Pierce for it. If I could burn the Dark Ritual... Okay, that worked. Wait a second. Can I actually... 1, 2, 3... This can burn for black. Oh, and red, but then I have 5 mana and it's red and black. Okay, mana a little awkward, but still not terrible for next turn. They did mention that the mana looks a little janky with mostly basics and 4 colors and everything, but that it mostly played out decently, and we're seeing that so far. It's not too bad at all. Chris could be interesting too, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7 mana next turn, which means I could Chris and Hunter, assuming no counter spells. Okay, well, we're obviously starting with an attack. This guy is also just pressuring them a ton. They've got 3 mana open. Let's see, I Rite of Flame. To do it right, I have to cast both Rite of Flame and Dark Ritual because we need this Prism to make both of the green, and if I just go for like Dark Ritual Chris, then I've lost the red for the Rite of Flame, so I'd have to go all in. I kind of think it might be worth it though. If I Dark Ritual and they just counter it, I can just sit back. Same with the Rite of Flame, but if I do both of those, then I go for Chris. Even if they counter the Hunter, then I'm going to have a 4/5. I think that's worth it. Let's go for Dark Ritual. Again, if they counter like a ritual, we just stop. Rite of Flame, go for green here, and get Chris down, because now we still have 5 mana, so they counter this, but then they only have 1 mana, so they could be playing Force Spike, but we're going to hope they're not, and cast an Avenging Hunter. Thought Scour, that's not Force Spike. Oh my gosh, look at this. Turn 4, Initiative and Monarch. I guess we get a Forest so that we can play the other Hunter. I could get a Plains so I could play the Paladin, but I'd rather just play more Hunters, I think. And this is also lethal next turn. They could sleep one of them, but like that's just not a winning strategy. They really need like a couple Terrors and like a Demon Fury this turn. Okay, there's 1 Terror. There's a Serpent. Okay, that's not bad. Forge is going to get him pretty good, though, here. I guess even on this trades here, that's fine. They have to trade with both or they die to the trap. And another Commodore, that's hilarious. I mean, we're swinging with both. If they just block here, they take 2. Yeah, they take 7. They can't do that. So they block everything. They take 2. And I just get to play another Commodore. Take the Monarch again. Rite of Flame, that casts a Hunter next turn. Plus we have a trap, so they're at a virtual 3 here. There's a Serpent. They could Serpent and tap. They ponder. If they don't, that means they're going to have to trade with the Commodore, which is also fine. But I guess if they trade with the Commodore, have a counter spell for the Hunter, maybe they could get there. But they play a Terror. We will trap them, I believe. Another Paladin. We'll swing for 5. You know, they do get to trade. I get to play a Hunter. They sleep at the dead my Hunter. They take the initiative. That's not dead. Oh, and they smartly double block. We don't really have any removal. Do we have anything in our deck that targets their creature? No, so I think the higher power creature is just worse for us. We're going to hope for no Spell Pierce too. All right, Avenging Hunter. Oh, and we got extra mana from the Rite of Flame. That's funny. I don't think it'll matter, but unless we draw... We do go to the archives here. Draw something. Manamorphose. Can't use that. But if I get another land or something that can make Goliath Paladin come down, okay, Lotus Petal can do it too. So yeah, they can sleep at the dead, take the initiative, pretty good. They then need a counter spell for the Goliath Paladin. Otherwise, Paladin, I think, hitting the Throne of the Dead 3, we're going to have 3 creatures. They're never going to be able to sleep all of them. That's going to definitely lose them the game. They ponder and shuffle away. And there's the Sleep of the Dead. Swing for 5. And, oh right, they take Monarch too. I forgot we had 2 emblems. You know, having the Monarch... They could maybe do this. Island as well, so that's counterspell mana. Rite of Flame, that gives us 3 mana, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I probably can't play anything else, but I think I might as well Manamorphose, because maybe I draw like Chris or something. White and black, I think. Mountain, sure. Okay, so this way I can just cast the Paladin, and then I still have the Lotus Petal for the Paladin next turn. They have the Force Spike. I should have played the Lotus Petal. Why didn't I play the Lotus Petal? That was a big punt. They didn't have it earlier when I was thinking they might, and for some reason I was like, oh, well, they don't have Force Spike then. They're scrying 2 off the Undercity. They do have to tap the Hunter pretty much every turn, or leave back Terrors and worry if it gets any bigger. They do need another counterspell, and we're not going to fall into the Force Spike this time. There's the Sleep of the Dead. Mental Note, and they swing for 5. Draw off the Monarch. Avenging Hunter. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Well, let's cast a Lotus Petal this time. I think we go for the Goliath Paladin, because it blocks the Terror. I mean, so does Hunter. Hunter's scarier, actually. Hunter actually kills them. The minor thing to think about is if I cast the Hunter and then they Force Spike it, I have to use the Lotus Petal on it, and then I can't cast the Paladin, whereas if I cast the Paladin and they Force Spike it, you know. But they're not going to Force Spike it unless they have 2 Force Spikes or something. I think I just go for the Hunter. That one worked. Okay. We might have not fully thrown then, because I go throne. Because we go to the Throne of the Dead 3, the final chapter of the Undercity, and we get another Avenging Hunter, because we go back into the initiative, which is faster to get to the trap, and also it's the trampling creature, and seems like it'll be pretty lethal. We're going to get a Plains this time. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can actually cast the Goliath Paladin. All right, this one will get Force Spiked, but it's probably fine, right? That one worked. And we're going to Forge. Now we have 4 lethal attackers, and we have a trap that's about to go off. For some reason, when we go through the dungeon and hit a trap, it hurts them. All right, we got that first game. Definitely didn't try to throw it at all. And here, I didn't really think about how we're going to fit all of these in the deck without making the deck not function, but Duress and Pyroblasts seem good. I like the Writhing Chrysalis because of the cast trigger not getting countered. I think the Scurrilous Sentry just doesn't do enough. It takes several turns for it to get big enough to go up against a Terror, and in general it just doesn't seem amazing. Manamorphose feels like it's necessary. That's the other thing. I don't know how many of these mana sources I can really take out, so maybe we do just go for like part of me thinks Duress could be good because we could play it on turn 1 theoretically, take a counter spell, clear the way for the next turn. We don't use a mana on that turn. But obviously, if they have multiple counter spells and they've held up mana for one and they use it, Pyroblast could be really good there. I almost want to just like do half and half and kind of just feel out which is better. Let's do 3 and 3 and get a little greedy. Since I'm cutting the Scurrilous Sentries, maybe I cut Dark Ritual, although Dark Ritual is just the most mana gained without needing more of these, like the Rite of Flames. So maybe just the Spirit Guides. Let's try this. This is a very new realm for me, so not really sure. Okay, that's another turn 1 Commodore. Swamp, Dark Writ, Spirit Guide. We don't even have to use the Rites of Flame. I mean, we're going to keep, if they just have like a Spell Pierce, it goes sideways. Actually, no. Even if they have a Spell Pierce, I could just go for the Rite of Flame route, right? They could have a Pyroblast for the Commodore. Oh, we get a Forest, too, for Tinderwall. If I do that, red, I got to hope they don't have a Pyroblast. And I think I just Dark Ritual into Spirit Guide. Dispel. Sure. I'm not crazy, right? This makes a mana, this makes a mana, and then this makes 2 mana. And then we get to Crimson Fleet Commodore turn 1 again. Oh my gosh. Lotus Petal. We do need a little more follow-up this time, but it's still pretty good. And if they don't have a Sleep of the Dead, they're going to, die a little quicker this time. Manamorphose, okay. Swing for 5. And I think we just play Tinderwall. They could counterspell. Do I play the Lotus Petal? I think it's probably fine not to. We'll make sure to play it before potential Force Spike shenanigans, but they cycle a Lorien Revealed and Mental Note, hitting a Ponder and a Cryptic Serpent, another Lotus Petal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Thought Scour hits a Sleep of the Dead, and that's 1 mana Terrors. Okay, good for them. They're tapped out, but they have 2 Terrors and they hit a Sleep of the Dead. Well, this could go bad. I mean, we almost lost last game because we threw. I kind of feel like I need to go for a Lotus Petal Morphos, because otherwise they just tap down the Crimson Fleet, attack in. I could block with the Tinderwall, but that doesn't do enough, and then they keep this tapped forever and I lose. So we have red mana, black mana. So let's go for Morphos, red. I mean, this could make white, so I think we just go green, black here. And if we get like another Morphos, we can keep it going. Plains. So I could attack for 5, and then they don't even have to Sleep of the Dead. That seems bad, but yeah, I think we're gonna the Paladin's 1 under. If I could have just had that down, then I could have blocked. Oh, they don't sleep here? That's crazy to me. I mean, I do have to lose the Tinderwall, which I guess is rough, but I get to trade with one of these. They get to hold up Counterspell. Yeah, I guess for the next one, the Paladin here. I could play Paladin, it walks into a Counterspell, or they let it go. I guess I probably just play this Crimson Fleet, knowing it's going to get countered. I don't think the right choice was to take that hit, though, and keep the Crimson Fleet around. I guess I take 10, I hit for 5 back. Yeah, it doesn't seem great. They take the Monarch. We're supposed to be faster than they're able to react when we get a turn 1 Crimson Fleet Commodore, and Terror just seems to be the deck that's prepared, because they can get creatures down on turn 3, and then it can hold up counter spells and Sleep of the Dead. I was hoping that they wouldn't have a sleep this game. And another Terror. Well, we're going to cast Goliath Paladin, I guess, because it could block better. They have the counter spell. I mean, I guess my hands could be slightly better, and I could start with a initiative on turn 1, but I feel like I've had pretty dang good hands, and we're still losing against them here. 4 Serpents. Wonder if we can survive this one. I mean, we're 1-1. I shouldn't complain. We didn't see any of our sideboard. I could also be bringing in relics. It's always tough in this kind of a matchup, but it kind of feels like we're losing. Yeah, let's bring those in for a couple of these, I guess. We're losing because they can get their serpents down so quick. And if we can take a minor detour to get this down and prevent them from getting serpents, maybe we can hold the emblems a little better. On the play once again, and all the mana in the world, nothing to cast with it. Here we have just a Dark Ritual and nothing that we can use that on. Yeah, this is not a good one. All right, here we have a turn 2 Commodore through a Morphos or a Prism, but I have to keep the Dark Writ and the Morphos, I guess, because it at least draws a card. And I guess I get rid of the other Commodore because we need all 5 of these cards, right? Because I Morphos into red-black. Yeah, but if they just have a Dispel or a Spell Pierce or the other one, Force Spike, we're gonna not be able to do this. There's an island. There's a duress, but I don't have the mana to use the duress. Like, I could get black and I could go for it, but then I can't do this anyway. So I think we just have to try for it or not. But our hand is kind of bad either way, or it's bad if we don't. So I think we have to try for it. Go for the Morphos. Go for red, black. We get a prism. I could prism here, and then next turn I could duress and dark ritual, but they could just counter the prism, and then I have no black mana and I'm screwed. So I think we're gonna just go for it. Hope for no force spike or pyro or hydro, I guess would be the one. Yep, there's the hydroblast. We needed a turn 1 Crimson Fleet Commodore this time, just like we had the last 2 times, and we'll cast Pentad Prism, Mental Note, Thought Scour, Play a Terror, Mountain. I'm gonna save the duress for a turn where we actually go for the ritual and stuff. Well, hopefully we play against some non-terror decks, because I really think if we had that start in game 1 or 2 against just about anybody else, we should have won those games. We would have won that second game. We won the first one. I understand. Okay, I could play this just normally. Yeah, I guess I just play this. It at least blocks a couple turns. Probably won't get countered because they're... Oh, it does. Okay. I wasn't sure if they'd be a little more worried about the emblem creatures, but maybe they just have enough counter spells for everything. Mental Note. I will say, in order to win that second game, they needed the Sleep of the Dead, counterspells, and terrors, and they just so happened to have all of it. So they had some pretty good draws too, even though we obviously did as well. There's another terror, Conduit Pylons. I feel like this guy is a little too late, but we'll keep it on top. Pass. Cycle of Lorien, swing, and we'll block one of these guys as to not die. There's a Serpent. Even the Avenging Hunter on top does not save us from 3 of these guys, so we're gonna pack it up. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. All right, round 2 here. This is not a turn 1 anything crazy, but we can turn 2 a prism into turn 3 initiative, assuming we can hit another land drop. I think it's good enough on the play. Start with a swamp, or I can always just get down a Scurrilous Sentry on turn 3. It's a little less exciting. Forest against Elves, it looks like. Mountain. I could just cycle this Manamorphose. We hit our land, so we can play one of these next turn. And if I can cycle this into like a Dark Ritual or something, then I could get something down this turn. It'd probably just be the Scurrilous Sentry, though. I guess we'll save that for later, just because we currently don't have any green mana except for the Prism. So if we use all of this on the Hunter, and then we draw like another Hunter, we might want the Manamorphose for that. So this is a pretty fast start, but of course Elves could definitely rival us for speed here. Okay, Wild Growth, so it's actually Gruul Ramp. I've started seeing this in Elves, so it's got me all messed up. It's Panza. Okay, I haven't seen that in a little while either. That's pretty annoying. That's pretty good. They could just have like Boarding Party, but I guess I can trade with it. I could also just play the Sentry. That does not seem very good. I guess we're just gonna... I was really hoping for that initiative, especially because it would give us a land drop, but gotta do something here, and we're gonna play a Commodore. There's Chris. They also just picked the right land. Now our lands looks terrible because I can't Manamorphose. I can't play anything, actually. There's a Thermokarst. And they have another Thermokarst? Indeed they do. Alright, well we have 1/5/2 with Trample. We draw a Mountain. Problem is I want to attack for 5. I feel like we maybe have to, but if they get like a Boarding Party, they get to take the Monarch and get to cascade into something. But this is kind of now at the moment, our only chance of winning, so I think we have to attack. I can't really dawdle either. Swamp is good. That at least lets me Manamorphose. If I find like a Dark Writ, I could go for a Chrysalis or something, assuming we don't lose our land here, obviously. Suplex the Commodore. And now they just take the Monarch with the Arbor Elf. Fantastic. Conduit Pylons. Sure. Try to find a Dark Ritual. Forest? No. I think we're just going to cycle this for black, red. Hit a Tinderwall. I guess we're going to go black, green. Doesn't matter. They have a Chrysalis. They have another Acid Moss. And they're drawing from the Monarch. Alright, I guess we can give it one more turn, because I could find a Dark Ritual to play a Hunter next turn. And if they draw nothing, maybe we're fine, but swing for 3. and just pass the turn. We find another hunter. I guess they didn't do anything last turn, so we'll give it another turn. Maybe they're drawing all lands. Forest, crack and spawn. They got a generous Ent. Swing for 5. We do get a mountain, so I guess I can play a Chris, who can chump a little bit, and then we can get a hunter down maybe. Just block with one of them. Maybe I shouldn't block with either, because if they can blow up our land, then we need the mana, but also if they can blow up if they specifically blow up our forest, then our Avenging Hunter's not coming down anyway, but they might not know that's the one to hit. Arbor Elf, pass. Prism. Well, we're gonna cast an Avenging Hunter. Don't think I can really attack to try to take the Monarch back, because they just jump with an Arbor Elf, and then I have to I don't get to do much with the Avenging Hunter. We're going to get a Plains here, I guess. Let's see if I attack. I mean, if I attack, they could always just take it, and then they can attack back with everything, and I have to chump here. That seems really bad. I don't know if they would make that play, but it's probably better to... we have the initiative going. They have the Monarch. Both are very good. There's a Rumble to find a boarding party or an Altasaur. They go for the boarding party. I think that's fair. Haste is pretty good. Oh, plus that makes the Chrysalis 5 power. That's annoying because they don't bounce off against each other. Boarding party into Arbor Elf. They swing with just the big guys. If they had swung with the Arbor Elves, I'd just be dead, but they did not. I'm just dead anyway, but could have killed me this turn. They take the initiative. We're not coming back from this. The land destruction was too strong. I think we're going to bring in Duresses so that we don't get our lands blown up. Then again, if we just had a more turbo start, it wouldn't have mattered as much, especially into the initiative. We did get the Monarch down. No, we had the slow Prism start, which meant we only were able to get the Monarch down. Yeah, so Duress for the hate, or we just try to go more quickly. All right, I think we're just going to try to keep a quicker hand. That's the goal. Well, we have Spirit Guide, and then we have a turn 3 Scurrilous Sentry. That's not going to do it. This is turn 1 Sentry, Forest, Spirit Guide, Manamorphose, that into black, and then Dark Ritual. Okay, sure. We'll see how good Sentry is. It doesn't die to Suplex, which is nice. If it doesn't die at all, that could be good. I think we get rid of the Rite of Flame, because then once we've used all this, I might want the Prism for getting back up to 5 mana. Simian Spirit Guide, Manamorphose into... Let's go black-red, just in case we draw a Monarch and want to play that. We don't. Dark Rit into Sentry. Connive. I mean, I want it to grow, so maybe I ditch the Prism. Prism's a nice way to get to Hunter, but not with a Forest, so maybe I discard the Forest. It's kind of awkward. I kind of feel like I should prioritize growing it, though. I'm going to discard the Prism. It can be attacking for 4 next turn, then 5, then 6, then 7. So it's not a terrible clock. Get another Prism. Well, we're going to swing. Connives again. Probably not going to be able to play 2 Avenging Hunters, so I'm just going to do that. Play a Forest, although I really don't want a Prism for 1 here, because that doesn't even get us to Hunter. I think we're going to pass again. Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf. Well, really wish I had removal right about now to kill that Arbor Elf. Manamorphose. That can at least get our Prism 2 colors. Okay, let's swing. They can play a 7-drop next turn. Goliath Paladin. Probably going to prefer the Hunter, so I think we discard the Paladin, hit for 5, and we go Manamorphose into... I don't know if it matters. Green-black, I guess. Alright, we hit a land even. So let's Prism. Discarding a land to this... well, we need to play a land for the Hunter next turn anyway, so let's just play the Swamp. And hope they don't have anything too good. Annoyed Altasaur... 6/5 into a boarding party into an Avenging Hunter. Amazing. I guess they're the ones who are high rolling now. They don't even attack with the boarding party because they're protecting the initiative. I can take the initiative, but then we don't have blockers for all of their stuff. I guess they have to throw away a Hunter. Yeah, I guess that's fine. We'll get a mountain in case we find another Commodore. Not another, the first Commodore. Whereas if we find a Goliath Paladin, I'm going to need 5 mana and the white mana for the Lotus Petal. So if their hand is all garbage, we might be okay. We block here, eat this guy, take 6. We can stack back. If their hand is not all garbage, it's not looking great. If they just attack with these 2, I could block here, and then we go to the Undercity. What good does it even do? We can scry. Yeah, I guess we scry and try to find something. We try to find another guy. Goliath Paladin to block the Hunter or something. They rumble. 2 suplex, a generous Ent, which is definitely what they're going to take, and a Forest. Right, and they can cast the Generous Ent right away. Go into the Lost Well. Get rid of all this mana. Hope we draw not that. I think we just lose here. I mean, I can't imagine a way out. They hit us for 10, take the initiative, forge. Even if we draw something, we're going to die. This deck does not have a lot of comeback potential. It really needs to get out fast and win, and it's not doing a great job at that. This is turn 1, nothing, so we got to get rid of it. This is turn 3, Paladin, nothing else. We could go for it on turn 2. Try to find something with a Manamorphose. We're on the draw even. I think we got to go lower. Yeah, I mean, this is a turn 3 Paladin with the Prism. We can't go any lower than this. In fact, I kind of want to get rid of the Spirit Guide. Wait, I could Prism turn 1 with the Spirit Guide. Then I have 4 mana on turn 2. I guess that's just a Sentry. But if I hit like a Plains off the top, or just any land off the top, it could be a turn 3. Or if I find a Ritual, it could be a turn 2. But I have to get rid of either this or like a Spirit Guide. I think I get rid of the Spirit Guide, and I go for the turn 2. I don't know. Not super good start here. We're against Spy, it appears. Maybe not. They get a Plains from their Roost Seek. Swamp for second Sentry. Could be like Selesnya ramp. Looks kind of like it. Oh, Naya something. Lightning Bolt, Stormshriek Feral. It's just every single card here is red after not seeing any. You take the Stormshriek Feral. Okay. Well, turn 3 Goliath Paladin's not the worst. They cast Flush Out, discarding a Plains, and they pass. Ooh, Avenging Hunter. Yeah, I guess we'll play that. I'm going to hope for no Stormshriek Feral. Second one, which has haste and could take the initiative right away. We're going to get a Plains here, so we can cast the Paladin in a turn, ideally. They do have a Stormshriek Feral. No. Well, we're going to fight over the initiative then. We are going to be dealing more damage. Plus, if we get a Ritual next turn, we get a Paladin. If not, we get a Sentry. Manamorphose could be a Ritual. If it is, I'm going to want it to be second main phase, because I would like to take the initiative first and then play the Paladin to go through the initiative again. Whereas if I take it pre-combat, then I don't actually take it from them here, so we're going to cast the Ritual, the Manamorphose rather, second main phase. I could also Scry to try to set it up, but I think we have a pretty good shot of just killing them in a couple turns here, so let's get greedy. I mean, worst case, I can play the Sentry. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to play the Morphos. I think I'm just still going to go for turn it back into red and green, so we have one of everything. We got a land. I mean, that's the Paladin next turn. That's not terrible. Play Sentry, another Paladin. I guess we'll loot away a Sentry. I kind of feel like they might be Naya Initiative and just doing a somewhat more fair ramp package. Just that would be my assumption for what the white is for, is Goliath Paladin. They take the initiative again. See, here we get to attack them for 11 and then trap them. I mean, that's just lethal, so I assume they'll have something. And if they do, we still get to then slam down another Goliath Paladin to draw a card in the archives. That's pretty good. Oh, I mean, I did notice they were just playing dragons, so it looks like it's just Naya dragons. Riling Dawnbreaker, at the beginning of combat on your turn, so it's just a 3/4 with flying and vigilance. That does not look very good against us. At the moment, it can chump 4 damage from the Hunter, which could keep him alive, or it can't block this because it's got Menace. We're going to loot away a Simian Spirit Guide, and they do block, making the right call if they want to live longer, since the trap puts them to 3. Goliath Paladin to go to the archives, and look, we can take the Monarch next turn. They rumble, hit Breath Weapon, Hydra, another Dawnbreaker. They choose the Dawnbreaker, and they have an Armadillo Cloak. Okay, that's not going to keep them alive, unfortunately. They could attack for 5, or they could just take it, or leave it back, but it's a trigger, so they're not going to gain life on damage. Even if they did, they'd block here, still take 1, 2, 5, 10. So super dead. I kind of don't think I need to sideboard anything here. I think we'll just send it back. All right, here we have, what is this? This is not a turn 1 Paladin. Turn 2, we could go Dark Ritual to 4, Manamorphose for red and white, Rite of Flame, Goliath Paladin. I mean, that's a turn 2 Goliath Paladin. That's not bad. I think we keep that. Another Morphos. That's not going to change anything. If Manamorphose could be cast off of black mana, or if we had a mountain, we could have done a turn 1 Goliath Paladin. But they go for a Roost Seek, play their forest. No, they play a Radiant Grove. Okay, we know they have a forest. Tinderwall. Oh, if we had a Tinderwall, that would have worked too. Now we get to go for Dark Ritual, Manamorphose to red-white, and Rite of Flame, Goliath Paladin. This can also then find us a mountain. I guess we already have red mana with the Tinderwall, so maybe I should just find Plains. I mean, we also have both colors of mana with the Manamorphose, but we have 2 sources of red, so actually let's just get a Plains in case we get another Paladin. And they got a Repurposer. That ain't gonna cut it, though. Forge onto this Paladin. Another Rite of Flame. Swing with the Paladin. I could cycle the Manamorphose to try to find... Because Rite is a Dark Ritual now, so that's 1, 2, 3... Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I find anything, I could cast it off of this. So yeah, let's Manamorphose into, shouldn't really matter, red, green, Prism. Sure, we'll cast a Prism. And a Forest for the Tinderwall. They could play a Stormstreak Feral and then take the initiative, and then they have the Repurposer to block the Paladin. That could be decent for them, for sure. They cast a Chrysalis. Okay, that's fine. They still don't have enough power between these two to block and kill the Paladin, so I can just attack freely in still. Plus we get to trap them. Plains, chump with the spawn, and we'll pass the turn. They have another Chrysalis. So now I can't attack in. This guy only can have 6 power though, so he can't attack either. We get to draw an extra card, hopefully hit some creatures here. I mean, that is a creature, but this is definitely more what I was saying, but not complaining. Goliath Paladin goes to Throne here, and Avenging Hunter, or I could take the Monarch as well. It's a big trampler either way. I think Monarch makes sense. Do I want to cast this Simian Spirit Guide? I can already block everything fine. I don't think I need to. Draw off the Monarch. Now if they do get a Stormstreak Feral and attack in, it does make things a little awkward because it's kind of hard for us to attack back very well. Alright, they have a Nyxborn Hydra, make Chrysalis a 10-11, but that doesn't even 10-11. Okay, so I could block it with these 2, and they can only trade for 1 of them. Or I could take 10, we attack back. They could trade here, they take 2, they could chump here, they take 5. Or they could just block here and here, they take 8, but then we're on our way to trapping them. But if I take 10, I don't win this turn, and then they attack me for 10 again. That seems bad. All right. Plus, they take the Monarch and everything as well. I think we'd block like this. An 8-5 and a 5-8 for 13 total. Or, actually, I don't even have to put this one in danger. This is 11 damage, and this is 11 toughness, so they can't kill both. Yeah, so I just don't give them the option to kill our big guy. I mean, our big 5-8. They can still kill that 8-5. This seems fine, though. Oh, they have a protection spell? That's good. Blessed Hippogriff. Yeah, I guess they are kind of an adventure/omen deck. And it's not the end of the world. It does kill that one. Okay. They didn't even kill the giant trampler, but fair enough. We take that. We get a mountain and an Avenging Hunter, which forges, which makes this bigger, which is going to make it hard for them to block very well, because they didn't kill this. Should have killed this one, because they can double block this, but I eat both of their guys, and they take 5. Or they can, like, chump here, take 4, and chump here. Either way, I'm relatively happy with the outcome. Okay, sure, I guess they can chump here, take 7, and then these both bounce off. Fair enough. Oop. I am going to cast this Simian Spirit Guide, though, because it's an attacker. Seems fine. Dark Ritual. Sack the spawn. Malevolent Rumble. They can get a Feral if they want it. They choose the Radiant Grove. They cast another Flush Out, discarding this Dawnbreaker. They attack for 12 with this guy. I'm trying to think if there's any way I could lose here. They could have a Teamer Battle Rage, theoretically. So I could block this and this. If they have a Teamer Battle Rage, I would take 19. But then I have 3 lethal attackers. Yeah, I think that's my best bet. I mean, I don't know if there's any way they have a Teamer Battle Rage, but it's the only way I can think that we would lose right on the spot there. And they take the Monarch in the initiative. I guess if they just can get 2 more creatures, but these are enormous and have trample. They have to have enough blockers that are big enough. I don't know. Get a mountain. They cast the Omen of a Dawnbreaker to make a 2/2 soldier, and we'll just swing in. Unless they have like a fog or something. I think we got them. Block here, block here. I guess if they could just kill this, they could survive at 1. No, because then we get to trap them as well. All right, we deal them plenty of damage. And take that match. All right, we're on the draw here. What do we have? Tinderwall. Turn 2 Commodore on the draw. I guess it's okay. Not the best. Turn 2 Monarch is pitiful. Swamp doesn't change it, unfortunately. So let's just play a Tinderwall here. And looks like more terror. They cycle a Lorien in their upkeep, and okay, no full counterspell. So I could Dark Ritual, then Prism, then Commodore. That plays around 4 Spike as well. If they Spell Pierce this, I can pay for it with a red and a green, and I can just play the Commodore. Okay, that's fine. Dark Writ. Oh, they just let it go. Pentad, Prism, and Crimson Fleet Commodore. All right, maybe this will be decent enough. We can also get a Scurrilous Sentry down next turn. Sleep of the Dead. Nothing else, though. Now they have counterspell mana up. Let's go for another Pentad Prism, and then Dark Writ into Scurrilous Sentry. All right, that worked. Maybe I should have just not played the Prism because I could have discarded it to the Sentry to make it bigger. Could have been better. We get a Simian Spirit Guide. That could be discarded for not a lot. They play a 4-mana Terror. Okay. And we get another Crimson Fleet Commodore. I think I just attack, play the Commodore. If they want to tap it down and attack, that's fine. But I get in for 8. And then next turn I can get in for another 8. I think that's fine. We'll swing, loot away. Oh, I also can just take the initiative. Seems pretty good. I try to block this, but this guy's got Menace. You don't know Pauper All-Star Scurrilous Sentry? Yeah, I just play the Avenging Hunter. It doesn't even matter if they can take the initiative here, because I just have so many guys they can't deal with that I'll just take it right back. And there's a Goliath Paladin. I mean, that's my thought anyway. We'll see if it actually happens. They play a Serpent. They do attack. I mean, I think we'll block since they didn't tap it down. Go for a Forge. I'm just going to go on the Sentry because it's got Menace. And this one trades either way. Another Commodore. All right. Loot. We'll just bin a Plains. We have 7 mana this turn, so I'm going to play Paladin, and the next turn, if I get another land, I can just play 2 Commodores. If there is a next turn, we do get to trap them down to 2 after all, and there's a Morphos. All right, we win that one, and let's try to take what we learned from the first match, bring in Relics, and I guess we'll try a couple Pyros, couple Duress. See how this goes. We took out, I think, all of these, like a 1 of Paladin. All right, we do have a turn 1 Relic, and then we can Metamorphose into Duress. This doesn't do much quickly. I think we got to mulligan this. Like, I don't mind it. I want the sideboard cards, but like I need this to be Monarch or Initiative, and like Dark Ritual, you know, this just is nothing. See, this is I guess this isn't much more because we still have all these Morphoses. We still have these 2 cards. No, this one feels bad too, I think. Let's just go down. All right, here we have Mountain, Lotus Petal, Dark Rit, Commodore for turn 1, but now we got to get rid of 2 cards. Turn 1 Commodore. I mean, if we're going to go for the turn 1 Commodore, the Duress is kind of unnecessary. But if we keep it and we top deck like a Simian Spirit Guide or something, then I can go for the Duress into the Dark Ritual. Or rather, the Duress into the Commodore. These guys are kind of unnecessary anyway, so I guess we'd probably keep that. Island. We'll cast a Lotus Petal. Should I cast Dark Ritual? That's probably going to get countered. I'm just going to wait. I mean, it's so tough, because if this gets countered, we just lose the game, I believe. We're down to 1 Mountain and like 3 cards in hand. I cast a Delver here. If I can just get like a Swamp off the top, so I can... Actually, wait, I don't need the Swamp. Well, I wanted Duress before the Dark Ritual. I guess we were just not going to get to. Probably Tinderwall. Yeah, so I can... okay, so I could Dark Ritual, and then Duress, and then Commodore. Or I could just Tinderwall Commodore, but then we're not using these either way. I think I'd rather Duress. It's kind of risky either way, but we're going to go for it. Like, if they have Dispel, I can't do anything about it. If they have a Spell Pierce, then I can't do anything else this turn anyway, so I might as well pay for it and Duress them, since we don't have any other black mana. Counterspell, sure. Brainstorm in their upkeep. So now we need a non-spell pierceable way to get the Commodore down. They cycle a Lorien in the upkeep, shuffling away the Demon Fury they revealed for the Aberration. Pentad Prism for 1. I guess we're doing this. They can spell pierce it, and that's fine, but might as well get that out of there. But if it did resolve, we could actually cast the Tinderwall, and next turn we could Commodore, which is funny. So, yeah, I mean, we'll cast another Prism for 1. Thought Scour, us. Mental Note. Thought Scour again. We'll cast a Tinderwall. Yeah, I have to cast it this turn. No, I don't have to cast it this turn. And if they have a counterspell next turn, it's not going to matter anyway. Let's just pass that. I guess they could Demon Fury the Prism here. They could just do that to the Tinderwall, so that doesn't really matter. Swing for 3. And I mean, we're pretty far behind at this point that I don't even know if the Commodore does enough. Certainly not with the Serpent here. Another Serpent. Now we get a Rite of Flame. I could play a Commodore. Best case scenario, we block and take 9 and then give him the Monarch. So we're dead there. It was mostly a bad draw. I guess there, the Pyroblast would have been better than the Duress. Not sure it would have made much of a difference, but I guess we are heavier red. All right, let's see if we can get this one. Double Lotus Petal Tinderwall. So this could be a turn 2 Avenging Hunter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a Pyroblast backup. Okay, that seems good. So let's just cast all of this stuff. This is only 4 mana, so I can't go for the Hunter, obviously. But next turn I get the Forest untapped and the Pylons. They just start with the Delver, so I might just need to Pyro that. Oh, Chris. Let's see, I could play Chris, and then next turn I could still Avenging Hunter with Pyroblast backup, and then I don't actually have to kill the Delver. Prism, let's get that in the grave. I think that's probably worth it. I'm 1 turn behind on the Avenging Hunter, but I would need to Pyro this to keep the initiative, and then it might be fine. Okay, they didn't flip it, but I obviously didn't know that would happen. I don't know. I think this is fine. Let's go for Avenging Hunter. They have Mental Note, so they might not even have a counterspell. Okay, perfect. Now I get to find a mountain. I don't even have to burn the Lotus Petal for the Pyroblast. And I think we just sit back. They do flip on a Brainstorm this time. Cast it right away. And they have a Sleep of the Dead for the Chrysalis. They haven't played a land yet here, so I think we just blow up the Delver here. They only have 5 spells, so they can't play a Terror. I could obviously counter the Sleep of the Dead, but that doesn't seem as good. So yeah, let's just blow this up. They do have the island. Nice. All right, that went well. Now we'll forge onto the Hunter. Crimson Fleet Commodore. They gotta have like a Force Spike. And I guess I might as well cycle the Manamorphose, because if we get a land, then we can't even get Force Spiked. Red and black. I can't Goliath Paladin, so let's just go for this guy. Monarch it is. All right, they have another Sleep of the Dead from hand on the Avenging Hunter. Cryptic Serpent and a Terror. Okay. We do get to trap them down to 8. Land. Okay, that's good, actually. That's fine. I just wanted to be able to play this Chris so that I can attack with other Chris and Crimson Fleet. They have to block at least one of them. This one won't die. And then we're going to take that match. Nice. All right, round 5 here. Trying to get a positive record. We have 3 mana. Doesn't quite cut it. Too many of these guys. We got to mulligan that. Here we have... Oh, wait. Okay, I think it works. Sorry, calculating. So Forest Spirit Guide is 2. Prism is 2 of any color. Dark Rid is 4. And then Rite of Flame. We can get a turn 1 Avenging Hunter here. We just put back the Sentry. Double checking. Yes, but actually I need to Rite of Flame first, because otherwise I'd have to make red out of this, and then I'd have red and black and couldn't cast this. So I do Forest, Spirit Guide, Rite of Flame, Prism out of red and green. We have a red floating. Then I can make green, triple black. Yeah, perfect. I mean, it's 6 cards to make 1 Hunter on turn 1, but it's going to be pretty good, hopefully. They mulligan to 5, so that might help a little bit. And Faithless Looting. All right. Madness, I mean, this could be really good. If they just kill the Hunter and, like, get snackers here, we could just die right away for sure. But if they can't kill the Hunter, we're going to win. If they can't take the initiative, we're going to win. They discard a Lava Dart and a Fiery Temper. Not the worst. And we get our Sentry back. Okay, Forest, Spirit Guide, Rite of Flame, Pentad Prism, red floating. Doesn't matter if it's red floating, it just needs to be red and green into the prism. Then green, black, Dark Ritual, and the mystical turn 1 Avenging Hunter. We're just going to go for a swamp for the Sentry. And, I can't play that because I already played a land because this is turn 1. All right. Turn 1 Avenging Hunter. Now, they could Bolt and Lava Dart, just kill the Hunter. Without a creature of their own on board, it doesn't matter too much. They're not playing anything here. Okay, they could also just, like, double Bolt it. They only have 3 cards in hand, I guess because they mulliganed and looting. I probably... If I Forge here, I feel like they're going to kill it in response. So I almost want to Scry. Let's see. It's a 4-turn clock if we don't Forge Trap, but if we do Forge and Trap, it's a 2-turn clock. I guess we gotta Forge. They don't even have to do it in response if they just have 2 Lightning Bolts. I guess it's not quite a 2-turn clock, because it's 7, 7, and 5, so it's 19 damage. Alright, they take it. Means they can't kill it, probably, or aren't willing to sacrifice a land for the Lava Dart. Of course, we could also just die to a Gutter Snipe right here, if we don't have a way to deal them the last point of damage. Flashback of Faithless Looting is a good sign, though. Alright, and we win the first game. Look at that. Turn 1 Avenging Hunter. What a format. Alright, against mono red, obviously Armadillo Cloak is made for this, and I honestly think some Duresses wouldn't be bad. Maybe we just want to focus on our own game plan. I'm really not that big of a fan of the Sentry. It's been kind of cool. Like, it dealt a lot of damage, but it just feels like it alone is not going to win the game in the same way that, like, a Hunter will. I could also bring in Relics. I think that's not our game plan here. I think that's more of a mid-range or control game plan, and we're kind of aggro combo. I think we'll bring in a couple Duresses just to try to mess with them a little bit. I will say that I'm seeing that the with black being a lesser color than red and green, Duress might not be the right sideboard card just because it's kind of hard to get the mana for it, but it's what we have in the sideboard. We're going to try it out, and yeah, I think a couple of these might be okay. Especially on the draw, it feels like, I don't know, just sniping on turn 1, if we can ever draw it. I mean, this hand is just bad, even if this Duress was any other card. Here we could Simian Spirit Guide, Morphos, Tinderwall. We have 3 mana, we can't do anything with it. Down. Alright, I have Lotus Petal, Dark Red, that's 3. Spirit Guide, that's 4. That's a turn 1 Commodore. Or let's see, would this make... I could also do Spirit Guide, Lotus Petal, Dark Rit, Morphos, Chrysalis. The reason for this would be... Well, I'd have to use I'd have to put, I'm mulliganing to 5, so I'd have to put these both back. The reason for that is then I have 2 mana from the Chris to try to get it to the Commodore, so it's easier to get this one, whereas if I do it the other way, it's really hard to get to the Chrysalis. But I kind of think I'd have to use every card. I couldn't keep the Commodore in hand, so the Chrysalis is going to go. And I think it's the other Spirit Guide. I guess we don't need the Morphos for the Commodore, but it just cycles. It could fix mana, or I could keep the Spirit Guide in case we top deck a Avenging Hunter, but then I can't make green. No, I think we get rid of Spirit Guide Chris. Well, we do have a turn 1 Monarch. We'll see if that's good enough with no land. Mind you, if we'd made it to the initiative, we could get a land. And honestly, maybe I do just cycle the Mana Morphos to try to hit a land drop. Because we got a Commodore, we're never going to be able to play that. Simian Spirit Guide, Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual. Yeah, let's Mana Morphos into green-red here. Just to cycle it. If we just get so close to the Hunter. We'll just play Commodore. But I think, like, these cards are just so stuck in our hand. And if they could just bolt this and then get a snacker down, we're going to be toast. But I think getting one card closer to a land was important, especially because, like, we can't even cast the Mana Morphos at this point, right? They didn't bolt the Commodore, which is nice. They do have the snacker, however. We get a Mountain now. Swing for 5. We get a Pylons. Okay. How long can the red deck go without finding a bolt is the question. They swing for 2. Take the Monarch. Highway Robbery. Discard a Fiery Temper. Maybe they'll go face. That's always been a great idea. Dang, they killed the Commodore. Yeah, it's got to be Avenging Hunter, because Avenging Hunter can survive better. Conduit Pylons, Surveil, Morphos, put that into the grave. If I can find a Dark Ritual off this Morphos, I could play a Commodore. It probably just dies to another Bolt. I think we hold it, and maybe we draw a land or Dark Ritual or something, and then we can maybe make it to like an Avenging Hunter the following turn. They just got the Gutter Snipe. Swing for 2 and pass. Tinder Wall adds 1 mana. So yeah, if I could find Dark Ritual, I could get an Avenging Hunter down for all the good it'll do. Morphos into green black, because green makes red. And if I can get to Goliath, I'd want to play Hunter probably. So yeah, another Mana Morphos. Sure, we'll go for green black again. Pentad Prism. That's a next turn Hunter. I mean, we're so dead here. I could play a Tinder Wall. I can't even play a Commodore off of that. They play a Kessig Flame Breather, another Kessig Flame Breather. Are we somehow not dead? I mean, even if we get one of these down, I don't see how we're winning, even if they have a handful of lands, but it is interesting. Pass, we get a Prism. Sure, let's play a Tinder Wall, and then cast an Avenging Hunter. I guess Plains is what we'll get. They play a Faithless Looting, we take 4 damage. They discard a Fiery Temper, and we're gonna die. Alright, we need a very fast turn 1 play, and, you know, maybe these dresses aren't cutting it. I guess we'll get these back in. Armadillo Cloak obviously could still be decent, so we'll leave that. Kind of close. Well, close to a turn 2. This is not very good. Let's get rid of it. Yes, the monochromatic Pentad Prism hand. I mean, this is a thing of beauty right here. I could do a turn 3 Crimson Fleet with this. All right, we got a mulligan again. We're down to 5. We have 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, of course we drew the 1 Pylons when I want to do like a turn 1 Prism off of a Pylons and a Guide. So I can't even do that, which means I have to do it off of these 2, which is basically the same as just using them both. Oh, brother. I don't think if we go to 4 cards, it's going to be any better, unfortunately. So I guess we keep this. Get rid of... I think we got to go for the gold. Get rid of Mana Morphos, and the other one, I guess, is... Oh, wait. If we... I guess Mana Morphos fixes our Conduit Pylons problem into Prism. So I could turn 1, boom, boom, Morphos, Prism. Turn 2, but then I have to get rid of, like, Lotus Petal Chrysalis. So I have no guarantee that we're hitting anything. Or I could just go for... I think it's probably better to just get rid of these 2. And we can Pylons to search for, like, another land, I guess. Because if we can do a land, I think we can get a turn 3 Hunter. Rite of Flame. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's not a bad one to put in the grave if we can find the other one. But, yeah, I think that's it. Like, I could just play these. Not how I wanted to go out. I mean, the first game of this match was sweet with the turn 1 Avenging Hunter. And it's petering out a little bit, which is a bit unfortunate. Lotus Petal. I could make a colored mana from the Conduit Pylons by cracking a Lotus Petal. It's basically the same as just using nothing. I guess now no, even if I crack this, it's just 1. Oh, God. I was totally on board with this Pylons until it's absolutely screwing us over for this Prism. I'm not sure it's necessary too. We've mostly not had too many issues with colors of mana, and I don't think you can afford to like filter this almost ever, so I think this probably could just be another basic. Grab the prize, Lava Dart. Alright, if we get any positive mana source here, we can at least get an Avenging Hunter down. We'll take it. Lotus Petal it is. Into a Spirit Guide. We have the slowest / most expensive Avenging Hunter ever. And I mean that in every sense of the word expensive. I think we just get red because a lot of our base spells and rituals are red. Now, if this Avenging Hunter doesn't die, we have a shot. And if it does, we might not. There's a Flame Breather. They have the Dart in the Grave, so a Bolt plus Dart does it. They Fire Blast the Avenging Hunter. I mean, that's probably going to be game winning, so they took a little bit to think about it, but I understand why. We have to go for the Lost Well, because Forge is not an option. You have to put 2 counters on a creature, so we'd grow this, and also it's just not the path to victory at this point. I don't even know what we can get, though, because we have to either draw like a Commodore, but I can't play it, and I can't even play it next turn. Not even a different colored land there. So I could keep this. I could play Pentet for 1. Yeah, we can't even play it. I don't even know what to get, though. What else are we looking for? I guess Manamorphose, so that we could play a Prism on 2 into something else is like our best draw. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Armadillo Cloak, perfect. I guess we'll play Prism for 1. We'll play it out for a turn or 2, but I do think we lost to the Fire Blast. I mean, they get to take the initiative after all, and I don't think holding onto the Penta Prism was really an option. Then again, I guess we can't really draw anything here to cast because we'd need both mana and cards to cast. They have a Highway Robbery, discarding a mountain. We get a land. All right, if they have no removal and we get like a Crimson Fleet Commodore or a Scurrilous Sentry off the top, which we can play, into an Armadillo Cloak, maybe we could get there. They do get to Undercity. This Fire Breather is going to be large. Swing for 3. Another Flame Breather. The Avenging Hunter. I guess if we'd save the Prism for last turn, then I could play an Avenging Hunter here. Here we get Flame Breathed for 4. We get trapped down to 3, and then they have a Lava Dart in the grave. A bit unceremonious of an ending, unfortunately. So it goes. Well, we got a 2-3 record, not amazing. This deck is pretty interesting. I kind of like the Pentad Prism take on the deck. It operates quite a bit like a Manamorphose, obviously not drawing you into a card, but it can also bank that mana for future turns. Unfortunately, it felt like every single game that we didn't get initiative on like turn 1 or maybe 2, all we really had to do was play 1 creature and then we would fall behind. And that makes sense with 42 of the spells in our deck being mana sources and only 18 cards that actually can do anything in the deck. It's definitely kind of what you're signing up for with this deck. Very high variance, but you can definitely still get some wins if you are a little lucky. Personally, I did think the Chrysalis in the main deck was kind of cool. It was just another threat, which I think you can use. And banking that 2 mana in the Eldrazi spawns did come up and was pretty relevant. So I think those in the main deck are pretty sweet. I honestly might go to a full playset and swap out one of the sentries. And after playing the deck, the card that I took out, Apostle's Blessing, that Ritual Troll Exhuman originally had in the deck, could have been interesting for sure. Usually we get down 1 main creature and that needs to carry us to victory. So having some form of protection could be good. I'd probably have to play the deck a little bit more and obviously test it with the Blessing to really know if that was something that I wanted. But where I originally didn't love the look of it, I think there might be a little bit more merit to trying it out. As far as the sideboard slots, the Duress didn't really work out great. Obviously the matches that we played up against, Pyroblast kind of fit the same role, and the black mana was a little bit more awkward than I thought it was going to be, which makes sense. We had 2 more red basics, and it can be made off the Tinderball, so maybe Duress should be something else here, not 100% sure what. As I said in that last match, I was totally fine with the Conduit Pylons in the deck, and a little bit of card selection with the Surveil's not bad, but I cannot really ever see using this mana filtering ability, at least not if you're in a very good spot, and the fact that it really just ruined the Pentad Prism start, I think we should probably just be playing all basics. This could probably be swapped for another Swamp, or maybe even like another Mountain or Forest. Oh, we also had 4 Simian Spirit Guides for more red sources, so that's why the Pyroblast is a lot easier to cast. And just to finish up my thoughts, the Sentry was interesting. I don't know if there's anything better to put in this slot, but it didn't feel like it alone was able to really take the game across the finish line. It does attack when it's first able as a 4/5, assuming you're discarding non-land cards every time you can. And it does only have to attack 4 times to be lethal, because it's 4, 5, 6, 7 damage, assuming, again, you're discarding non-lands. But I don't know, it feels like maybe there's something that could be even more snowball-y. Not 100% sure if that card exists at the moment. Those are my thoughts on the 4-color Prism Turbo Initiative deck. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you again, Ritual Troll Exhume, for the deck donation. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check the Metafy link down below. It's the best way to make sure that I continue putting out a video every single day. Thank you to my current monthly supporters, Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JDMPX, Tommaso Magnani, Apple Beta Pi, Halcaz, Cody Cowell, Illintent, and Emmanuel Mayer. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you all next time.